Nikki, post offices are being privatised here and there. One is going on in Belgium at the moment, bpost. It starts trading tomorrow on the stock exchange, and it looks like an interesting sort of example of how to do a privatisation of a post office.
Yes, they've done rather well. I think they've managed to price at towards the upper end of their indicative range at €14.50. The range was 12 to 15, and it's a decent multiple. It's about 5.5 times EV to last year's underlying normalised EBITDA. I suppose the reason we're getting quite a number of these is because of the general liberalisation of postal services in Europe. And obviously the UK government is queuing up to do something with Royal Mail.
Now, is it possible to read anything into whether Royal Mail can be done by looking at bpost?
bpost is obviously smaller than Royal Mail, and there are structural differences. bpost still owns its post offices. It has a sort of associate company that deals with financial services. But there is quite a lot in common. They're both unionised. They both have a quite heavy or regulatory aspect to them, and they both have universal service obligations, and they've both been restructuring. And the big thing that they have in common is the fundamental business driver, which is growth in internet-based communication.
Absolutely. Now, we've all seen the way that traditional postal services have been really decimated by the internet. I mean, that's been the big problem that they faced over a long period of time. I wonder how they can get around that, and whether...
Well, you say decimated, but that's not quite true. Their letter volumes are falling horribly, though the rates do vary. I mean, in Belgium, they're down by, over the past 4 or 5 years, by about 2% a year, 2.5% a year, which is not good, but it ain't bad. Royal Mail has seen things fall more sharply than that, and in some countries like Denmark, they're down by really horrible amounts. But they get the opposite side to that is that they get parcel mail from e-commerce, and that's a good business. I mean,
a lot of the money is in the parcels business.
Yep, certainly for Royal Mail. I mean, again, it's almost the flip side of the same coin. Parcel delivery business is growing very strongly in the UK, which is by far the most sort of advanced in terms of internet-based shopping in Europe. So one doesn't quite offset the other, but at least there's a bit of balance there.
Okay, great. Well, it'll be interesting to see how bpost does tomorrow. There seems to be a good deal of demand for the shares of bpost, which is a good sign, and it may very well be a template for others. Thanks, Nikki.